I think one of the things that we can do as recruiters is just ask a lot of open-ended questions and allow the person to sort of talk through their experience, what they're most proud of. We're well positioned to execute on a grand vision here of really putting consumers in the driver's seat, for lack of a better term, in the auto buying experience. We also have positions open in finance, legal operations, sales and operations, across the board. But I'd say the majority of our openings are in that tech and product. Think about what's really important to you. You know, a lot of candidates tend to index heavily on the compensation side of things, or the work-life balance, or there are a million variables out there that may be incentivizing somebody to consider new opportunities.
Hi all, good morning. So today I have Ryan with us, who has 19 years of experience when it comes to HR leadership experience in rapid growth and startup environments. He has led teams towards success by understanding what it takes for teams to go to the next level, by ensuring that all the team people that he hires has a cultural alignment with the company's roles and values. Let's welcome Ryan on 10 Minutes of Hiring Wisdom, where he will tell us about what he's learned along the way and what we can learn from him. Hi Ryan, how are you doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thank you so much. So Ryan, what got you into recruitment in the first place?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't think anybody gets into recruitment on purpose. It kind of happens by accident for just about everyone. When I graduated college, there was a little mini recession going on, and I really wanted to be in market research because I'm always compelled by the way people consider problems, what their intended output is when they solve those problems, and then obviously the output at the end there. And indirectly, I ended up getting that exact same experience with recruitment.
Okay. And Ryan, because you've been in recruitment for such a long while, you worked with a lot of companies. How do you assess talent? There's always alignment when it comes to strong skills as well as soft skills. So how do you assess candidates to make sure that the roles that you hire for, there would be a great alignment?
Yeah, there are certain things that you can do in terms of assessments. Obviously, when you're hiring for technical positions, we've got coding sessions, we've got logic sessions where we're going through very specific questions about a candidate's sort of philosophy and way of looking at problems. Certainly that's one way. But I think one of the things that we can do as recruiters is just ask a lot of open-ended questions and allow the person to sort of talk through their experience, what they're most proud of, their motivations for making the decisions they've made when pursuing new opportunities. It tells a lot about that person and what might motivate them in their next role, and whether that motivation is aligned with what we as an organization can offer that person.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. I think a follow-up question for that would be, usually the interview process shows the candidates a glimpse of how it would feel like when they actually work for the company. So how do you make sure that your recruitment process is specialized in a way that a candidate feels welcome, that they're like, oh, wow, this company actually sounds amazing, I want to work with them?
Yeah, we built out what we call a talent pitch, and we've socialized that across all of our teams so that they fully understand what the value proposition is for joining our organization. Employment branding is something that we've been spending a lot of time with recently, because in a very crowded marketplace with this new completely remote world, candidates have a lot of opportunities available to them. So what is our pitch? What is the value proposition for joining TrueCar? Why would someone consider joining us on this wild ride? I think it's really important that we articulate a very clear and concise story and are consistent throughout the entire process. So that script has been passed to our managers, to our hiring teams, to our recruiters, and it's not meant to be read to anybody by any stretch of the imagination. It's just everybody tends to perceive and view things slightly differently. So we're driving consistency with that pitch.
Okay. So if I were to apply for your company and, for example, I would be a good fit, can you maybe pitch your company to me so that if hiring managers and other companies are looking to hire for talent, they can definitely learn from your experiences? Because it sounds like your company has a strong purpose, a strong vision, which would help in attracting the right talent.
Yeah, we're completely upending an industry. I mean, the automotive industry has been established since the 1920s, and very little disruption has been involved in that industry in the recent past year. And so what we're doing is we're putting a completely new product out there. We're well positioned to execute on our grand vision here of really putting consumers in the driver's seat, for lack of a better term, in the auto buying experience, allowing those consumers to shop inventories of vehicles around the country, find the ideal vehicle that matches their requirements, and have that car dropped off in their driveway without them ever having to leave the home. That experience is revolutionary in this industry. And so if someone wants to be part of completely upending an industry, if you want to feel like you're not a number coming into the office every day, if you want to feel like you've got real purpose behind what you're doing, this is a great place for it.
Okay, I'm sold. Where do I sign up? I can definitely see why candidates would want to work with your company, just because you give a story, you give a vision of what the candidates would like feel be a part of, and then you make it customized where you make a candidate feel like they're part of something bigger rather than just being a number. They're actually adding value into the company and making sure that they're working for something bigger, which is the customers essentially at the end of the day. So thank you so much for sharing that, Ryan. Two more questions, Ryan, won't take more of your time. Next question is, you mentioned initially that you are hiring for 31 positions. What are some of the open positions that you can mention so that if people are looking for jobs, they know what to apply for?
Sure. A lot of our positions are in software engineering, data engineering, and product. Those are our three biggest sectors right now. But we also have positions open in finance, people operations, sales and operations, across the board. But I'd say the majority of our openings are in that tech and product field.
Okay. Last question, Ryan. So as we've seen in the market, a lot of companies are paying a lot just to attract the right candidates. Some of them have a base component, some of them a higher equity component. So how is your comp structured within your company to make sure that you can attract the best talent while ensuring that it's up to par with what the market's offering essentially?
Yeah, we tend to look at total rewards as sort of the offering to an employee. And so there's a base component to that. There is typically a bonus or commission component, depending upon which department you join. There's an equity component for most positions. And then, quite honestly, we're really proud of our benefits that we offer to all employees. We pay 100% of medical, dental, and vision for the employee and pick up the vast majority for dependents as well. And so when you look at the total contribution for our organization across the board, and that's not even including things, by the way, like Grubhub credits and fitness reimbursement and cell phone reimbursement and home office equipment and all of that, I think we have a very compelling total rewards offer out there for employees.
That's very true. I think for the longest time, there was a lot of emphasis just placed on money. But I think the pandemic caused people to think and reevaluate what they want. So benefits like insurance, specifically in the US, is something that's so important because if you don't have insurance, you will essentially have lots of debt and that will cause a lot of trouble. So thank you for sharing that, Ryan. I know I said two questions, just the last question because your story is very interesting. What is one piece of advice that you have for job seekers out there who are looking to make a change right now? Because you've had 19 years of experience, you can definitely guide them.
Sure. I think, and this may sound cliche, but I think this should be a dual-sided evaluation. Every candidate that's out there on the market needs to be asking the right questions to determine, is this a place where I can see myself in the long term? And so think about what's really important to you. A lot of candidates tend to index heavily on the compensation side of things or the work-life balance, or there are a million variables out there that may be incentivizing somebody to consider new opportunities. So really be precise in what you're thinking about there and make sure that you're asking the right questions to these organizations to determine if they can deliver that experience that you're looking for.
Okay, well, Ryan, thank you so much for coming on the show, for sharing about your company. I'm definitely sold on the idea of your company, how it will contribute to the society and how it would contribute to me as an employee specifically. Your hiring process, the vision of your company seems well thought out, which is why I'm pretty sure you would attract tons of talent just because you have a great contributor towards the society. Thank you so much, Ryan. It was an absolute pleasure speaking with you today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Pleasure's mine.